Tonight, we drift back into the long, frozen nights of the Middle Ages. But before then, welcome to Story Zone. This is another quiet journey through time. A time of flickering candlelight, straw floors, and long, bitter winters. This is a story of how ordinary people, poor peasants, tired farmers, and quiet families survived the cold long before modern heating, soft blankets, or even socks as we know them. So, start by closing your eyes now. Let your body relax and move. And imagine the cold wind outside as we begin this sleepy history. Back in the Middle Ages, the cold was not just a season, it was a way of life. Winters were long, very long, in some parts of Europe. Snow stayed on the ground for months, and there was no such thing as central heating. No electric heaters, no warm water on demand. The people of this time had to find their own ways to keep warm. They lived inside small houses made from wood, mud, straw, or stone. These homes were cold. The walls were thin. The floors were made of packed dirt. And the cold? It came in through every crack and corner. So how did they survive? Let's take a closer look. In most homes, the hearth was the center of everything. The hearth was the fire, and the fire was life. In a simple peasant hut, the fire usually sat in the middle of the room. Sometimes it was just a pile of burning logs, with smoke rising up through a small hole in the roof. There were no chimneys, not yet. The smoke would fill the room. It stung the eyes, made you cough, turned the ceiling black, but it also gave warmth and light. At night, the family would gather around it. They would sit close, wrapping themselves in wool or old cloaks. Some brought straw near the fire to sleep a little warmer. The fire never went out if they could help it. They fed it twigs and dried cow dung, anything that could burn, because once the fire died, it was very hard to start again. To fight the cold, peasants wore layers, but they didn't have closets full of clothes. Many had only one outfit, maybe two. If they were lucky, their clothes were made from wool. Wool was warm, thick, and itchy, but it helped keep out the chill. Under the wool, some wore linen, a softer cloth, but not very warm. They wrapped cloth around their legs and arms. They used leather belts to tie everything close to the body. Sometimes they had cloaks, long and heavy, to block the wind. Hoods were common. Gloves were rare. Shoes were simple leather wraps, and the cold often reached their toes. Some peasants even wrapped straw around their feet. They wore their clothes day